So if your week feels weird, just remember out there, a robot is still trying to light a torch. A shark is browsing Zillow, and a modem is whispering its final screech into the void.
The Talking Gruse, bringing you the less serious side of the news. Brought to you from the Rocket Courier Studios in Tempe, Arizona. Now, your host, the Gruse.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Talking Gruse, where the headlines are real, the logic is optional, and the ocean occasionally files a complaint. Now, before we begin, as you can see, the co-host is not here this episode. He said he needed time to recharge his batteries, which is bold coming from a man who's been operating at 5% mental capacity since 1999. I asked where he was going, and he said off the grid. That's actually translation for he's probably lost in a strip mall trying to return a plain hamburger he already ate. So, if this episode feels sharper, faster, and noticeably less confused, you're welcome. Now, this week's episode is packed with aquatic trespassers, robotic meltdowns, and lightning strikes that deserve their own movie trailers. So let's go ahead and head on over to Scarborough, Maine, where the ocean has opinions. Now, in a bold move to reclaim its spot on the summer tourism map, the Atlantic Ocean has sent a 12-foot great white shark to casually cruise past several public beaches in Scarborough, Maine. Now, locals responded with the traditional New England greeting, mild concern, and a firm refusal to cancel Beach Day. Now, the shark spotted near Richmond Island and Pine Point Beach was caught on drone footage, looking suspiciously like it had somewhere to be. Kind of like Rich, who once wandered into a car wash thinking it was a seafood restaurant. Now authorities issued a warning urging swimmers to be cautious, which in Maine translates to don't poke it with a kayak. Despite the sightings, beaches remained open because apparently the only thing more dangerous than a shark is disappointing a family with pre-packed sandwiches and sunburn ambitions. No injuries were reported, but the shark is believed to be considering a second home near Higgins Beach, pending zoning approval and a better Yelp rating. Now let's go on over to Mount Pleasant, where they just got thunder slapped this week. Now, South Carolina police dashcam captured a lightning strike of a utility pole, complete with a small explosion and fire, and the kind of power outage that makes you question your life choices mid-TikTok scroll. Now, the utility pole took a direct hit and still recovered faster than the co-host does from opening a group text. It was a moment that screamed, Michael Bay meets municipal infrastructure. The Mount Pleasant Police Department posted the footage like proud parents of a very angry cloud. No injuries were reported unless you count the emotional damage to the utility pole's self-esteem. Dominion Energy, they swooped in like storm chasers with a tool belt, restoring power and removing downed wires before anyone could say, is this covered by insurance? So the next time your day feels chaotic, remember, at least you didn't get thunder punched by the sky. And we reported a few weeks back about the humanoid games that were going to happen in China. So, glorious malfunctions were happening at the humanoid games. The future is now, everybody, and it's falling over dramatically. Beijing just launched the World Humanoid Robot Games, where over 500 AI-powered athletes from 16 countries competed in kickboxing, track, soccer, and dance, assuming their limbs stayed attached. The opening ceremony highlight, a robot tried to light the ceremonial torch and promptly ate pavement. Now, Friday's 1,500-meter race saw disqualification when one bot's head popped off mid-stride and was still more composed than Rich during a team meeting with more than 2 bullet points. Proving once again, everybody, that neck stability is humanity's underrated flex. Now, meanwhile, a soccer match turned into a mechanical mosh pit when one robot tripped, causing a domino effect of robot faceplants. Human referees had to step in, not to enforce the rules, but to untangle the chaos like a pile of coat hangers. Now, the games ran through Sunday, assuming no short circuits from competitive anxiety. So grab your popcorn and your surge protector. This is the Olympics, but with more sparks and fewer feelings. And let's go on over to the world of tech, everybody. Sad day. AOL pulls the plug on dial-up. Hard to believe that it just got pulled. So it's official. The symphony of screeches, beeps, and modem mating calls that haunted the late 90s is finally going silent. AOL, the OG of internet access and unsolicited CDs, will shut down its dial-up service on September 30th, 2025, which means the co-host just lost his primary internet provider. Once a titan of tech, AOL's dial-up was the gateway drug of the web for millions. But as broadband, fiber, and sanity took over, their user base shrank from 2.1 million in 2015 to just a few thousand by 2021. Those few thousand are now being gently nudged into the 21st century, likely with a confused call to their nephew. Now, AOL, which once merged with Time Warner in a $162 billion dot-com fever dream, was later sold off like a vintage Beanie Baby to Verizon, then to Apollo Global Management for a cool $5 billion. Its beloved AIM chat died in 2017, and now the final modem moan will join the digital graveyard. So everybody light a candle, play a dial-up ringtone, and salute the sound that launched 1 million chat rooms. Now here at the Talking Gruse, we like to always inform our viewers if there's a follow-up story, and this episode there is. Now, you may remember Goose, the 5-foot-long water monitor lizard who escaped from a second-story window in Webster, Massachusetts last episode. He was still on the loose, slinking through ponds and evading capture like a cold-blooded Jason Bourne. Well, we've got an update. After a 2-week chase that spanned Massachusetts and Connecticut, Goose has finally been captured. Authorities turned him over to the Reptile Rescue Foundation, where he'll get expert care and a custom habitat. Now, no words on whether Goose negotiated his surrender or demanded a fruit platter, but one thing is clear. He's no longer a fugitive. He's just a very long boy with a very weird legacy. Well, and there you have it. From sharks with real estate ambition, to lightning strikes with a flair for drama, to robots collapsing like IKEA furniture mid-marathon, and AOL finally ghosting the sound of dial-up despair. Now, we had just covered aquatic trespassers, electrified utility poles, mechanical meltdowns, and the ceremonial burning of internet nostalgia. Plus, Goose, the lizard, is no longer on the run. He's retired from fugitive life and entered his fruit platter era. So if your week feels weird, just remember out there, a robot is still trying to light a torch. A shark is browsing Zillow, and a modem is whispering its final screech into the void. Okay, everybody, up next we dive into that segment that makes us question humanity, where the rules are flexible, the achievements are questionable, and the only thing stranger than the records are the people who set them. Now, on to Strange World Records. to Strange World Records. This week, let's go and start our records off in Texas, where a chicken breaks records and refuses to break a sweat. So in a stunning upset to the poultry industry and Father Time himself, a 14-year-old Easter egger named Pearl has officially been crowned the world's oldest living chicken by Guinness World Records. Hatched in a personal incubator by Sonia Hull of Little Elm, Texas, Pearl has outlived most of her peers, several presidential administrations, and at least 3 failed TikTok dance trends. Now, Pearl spends her golden years lounging in the family laundry room, occasionally wading into the living room to catch up on her favorite TV shows. Sources close to the hen say she prefers drama with extreme emotional depth. Despite limited mobility, Pearl remains socially active, often seen chilling with the family's elderly cat and kitten, who apparently thinks that she's a feathered beanbag chair. Now, Hull reports that Pearl laid an egg right after learning that she had broke the record, proving that even in retirement, she still got it. Now, the previous record holder, Peanut, of Illinois, passed away at 21 years, 238 days, but Pearl still pecking away through life with style, sass, and a suspiciously well-timed sense of dramatic flair. Now, over in North Carolina, a woman reclaims her Guinness record with 5,623 Coke collectibles. I don't know if you all remember the cola wars of the 80s. Yeah, sorry. Pepsi, choice of the new generation. That's my thoughts. Now, in a tale of vengeance and carbonated glory, Debbie Incott of Lenoir, North Carolina, has recaptured her Guinness World Record for the largest Coca-Cola memorabilia collection, clocking in at a staggering 5,623 unique items, which is exactly how many excuses the co-host has for not being here this episode. That's more Coke than most vending machines have seen in a lifetime. Endicott first claimed the title in 2020 with a modest 2,028 items. But after losing it in 2023 to rival collector Jeffrey S. Folk Jr., who had 5,237 items and presumably a very patient spouse, she returned with a vengeance and a truckload of red plastic. Now, her collection, once a source of family tension due to her father-in-law's lifelong allegiance to Pepsi, has now become a shrine to the brand loyalty, antique store scavenging, and the power of red packaging. Now, the red is what pulled me in, she explains, proving that sometimes obsession starts with color and ends with a Guinness certificate. Now, no word yet on whether Pepsi plans a counter-strike, but sources suggest that they are considering a record for most passive-aggressive eye rolls in response to a Coke collection. Pepsi, just as long as you don't light anyone's hair on fire this time, we're good. Now, over in Indiana, a man grows a sunflower taller than most NBA players. Now, in Fort Wayne, Alex Babich has unofficially shattered the Guinness World Record for tallest sunflower with his leafy Leviathan, Clover. The height, 30 feet, 7 inches. That's not a flower, it's a botanical skyscraper, people. Now, last year, Babbich's sunflower dreams wilted short of the U.S. record, but this year, fueled by community support and squirrel paranoia, he has soared past both national and global benchmarks. Even the city provided a cherry picker to keep Clover safe from rogue rodents. Once again, proving that municipal resources are best used for sunflower defense. The moment was captured by the documentary crew behind Bloom, who filmed the triumphant measuring tape showdown. Now, Guinness still needs to verify the feat, but clover has already bloomed into a local legend and possibly the only plant with its own aerial security detail. Babbitt credits Fort Wayne's love and support for pushing him and Clover to new heights. Everybody's support is what's been pushing us to push this plant, he said. Apparently, emotional encouragement is now a viable fertilizer. Now the Guinness, we can't have an episode now without our good friend David Rush. That man has too much time on his hands. So a Guinness record was broken by men with toothpicks and, once again, here we go, too much free time. In a heroic display of dental precision and questionable life choices, serial record breaker David Rush joins forces with YouTuber Josh Horton and two brave bean enthusiasts to conquer the Guinness World Record for most baked beans eaten with a toothpick in under 3 minutes by a team of 4. I didn't even know there was a world record for that, folks. Because apparently forks are for quitters, and the previous record stood at a modest 429 beans. But these 4 titans of toothpickery obliterated it with a staggering 559 beans, proving once and for all that the human spirit and digestive tract knows no bounds. Now, Rush alone speared 211 beans, shattering his solo record of 178. His technique? Equal parts speed, shame, and the kind of focus usually reserved for bomb defusal or assembling IKEA furniture without instructions. Now, no beans were harmed in the making of this record, though several were reportedly traumatized. Everybody, that's your dose of Guinness-grade absurdity. From chickens defying mortality to a soda collection that could trigger a Cold War, to a sunflower that needs its own zip code, and a bean-eating team armed with nothing but toothpicks and questionable priorities. Now we've seen obsession, ambition, and digestive bravery, all in the name of records that make you ask, why? Oh, then it's followed immediately by, but seriously, how? Because everybody here at the Talking Gruse, we just don't report the strange. We celebrate it, catalog it, and occasionally poke it with bean-covered toothpicks. Well, anyways, everybody, I'm starting to hear the compliance choir singing. That's it for this episode of the Talking Gruse, where the headlines are real, the commentary is questionable, and Rich is still on his mysterious personal retreat, which we believe now is just code for I got lost trying to parallel park at a Wendy's. Now we've covered sharks browsing for beachfront properties, robots collapsing like folding chairs at a family reunion, and a chicken who lived longer than Rich's last 5 relationships combined. Meanwhile, Rich said he was recharging, which is bold, considering the fact that he's been operating at dial-up speed since the Bush administration. We'd asked him to send us a location update. He sent a blurry photo of a mall fountain and a receipt for the plain hamburger he already ate, and still tried to return. So, if this episode felt sharper, faster, and noticeably less like somebody was Googling their own script mid-sentence, you're welcome. Now, if you laughed, learned, or briefly questioned reality, subscribe, share, or send us your favorite weird story. We might just feature it. Or turn it into a segment with dramatic music, a fake sponsor, Rich would misread as Rich's Chicken Important. Until next time, everybody, stay curious, stay weird, and remember, if a chicken can break records at 14, you can absolutely outperform a man who once got locked inside a revolving door and called it a spiritual experience. All right, everybody, this has been the Talking Gruse. We'll see you next episode, unless Rich finally escapes the strip mall and finds his way back to relevance.